Hey guys, and welcome to this little recap video of everything we have done for the term so far in Form 4, Term 1 on AutoCAD for geometric construction. This is a sort of recap for anyone who wants to look at it again, if they miss any classes, if they just didn't get to stick on anything as much as they'd like to, or if you can't really practice on your laptop. I said recap twice, I noticed. We won't be focusing on tangency because that's not going to come in the exams, but we are going to look at bisecting a line, going to look at constructing angles 60, 30, 90, 45, 75. Going to look at ratio, constructing a triangle, circumscribing about a triangle, constructing a triangle, giving a ratio and a perimeter, constructing polygons, square, pentagon, hexagon, circumscribing hexagon maybe. Yeah, I might leave that one out. Constructing an octagon, and these are just some exercises, but yeah, that'll be essentially it. I'll go through the foundational stuff. If you guys wanted to macro how these were done, if you didn't get to do them, well yeah, you could pause the video right now and copy it. Kidding. You should do it for yourself. Okay. Sorry. Me going on. I'm gonna ramble a lot. That's what I do when I record stuff. I also drink a lot of water. Right. So we're gonna start with bisecting a line. So let's give ourselves a nice easy number, 100. Let's say we had a line 0 degrees, well, a flat line, if you want to say it like that, of 100 units, I believe it's millimeters, in length. Well, I know we could potentially just be like, let's divide this into two, Sarah. But like that's not the way we want it. The whole thing with geometric construction is, even though there are all these tools in AutoCAD and that sort of thing, we're doing it the old-fashioned way. We're going to use an arc, which is sort of like our compass, divided compass. It's a compass. Like, that's why we use center, start, end, because that's how like a compass goes, like. Essentially, we're going to see how to construct things if we didn't have a software that could sort of do it for us. So, yeah, rambling. As I said, I'm going to ramble a bit. So our line is 100 long. In general, you could average it. I mean, if you didn't know how long your line is, you could just say, well, this is probably more than half. We could use, let's say, 60 as our radius for our arc. Let me just change this to 0 here. And we're going to scribe an arc like so. You want to get it relative, like you don't want to be like, just put your arc here, something like that, because that's not really helping anything. Okay, that was a bit of an over-exaggeration, but essentially you don't want too short an arc because you want it to be able to meet the other arc at the bottom and the top of the line. Well, if you don't understand what I mean, I'll show you in a second. So we scribe an arc of 60 radius on that side, and then we're going to scribe an arc of 60 radius on this side. And you see the top and the bottom of this meet? Well, this arc meets the other arc at 2 points. This arc meets this arc at 2 points. I'm terrible at explaining, sorry. So we can now draw a line from this intersection to that intersection, and you'll see if I use my little measurement thing here, that's from here to here is 50, which means we bisected a line. Okay, moving on to the next one, because we do have a lot to cover. We're going to construct a 60-degree angle. So I could use the line of the same length. I could honestly use a line of any length, because the thing is, unlike a line bisecting where the length of the line actually matters, no matter how small or large you do your construction, the angle doesn't change, because it's an angle, it's the amount of turn. Okay, so we're going to scribe an arc from here to anywhere. I'll just choose 50 to have a nice even number. Going to scribe it here, pull it up to there. Now we're going to get the arc again, and you see where this line meets the arc, we are going to scribe another arc of 50 radius from here to here. And you see this point, okay, let me just put this in. Oof. But when you're not good at tutorials. So a line drawn from the start of here to here now would have an angle of 60. Yay! Moving along again. And so we had another line of 120 as well. I could have probably used that one, but I'll leave it intact. So let's say we wanted a 30-degree angle. We do the same thing as we did with the 60-degree. Scribe an arc like so. You have to use the same radius for all. You can't change your radius. Scribe an arc like so. So I'm using 50 as my radius. And I did something bad here. So I'm assuming, at least, because Sir is marking your command line, you want to be as thorough as possible when you're doing your thing. So you wouldn't know now, but yeah, sorry, that was my mom. Yeah, you wouldn't know now when you're just starting, but once you start practicing, you'd realize that, okay, to construct a 30-degree angle, the point where you remember 60 before met here around this piece, right? The point where that meets, you're going to use that as the center of another arc of radius 50. And oh, by the way, if AutoCAD works anti-clockwise, we mentioned it in class, but just in case you weren't there, if you press Control, like you see this is anti-clockwise, but if you press Control, it'll start moving clockwise. So yeah, but you have to hold down Control. Right then. Then the line from here to here would be at an angle of 30 degrees to our baseline here. Okay, moving along again. Hopefully I'm going to give out at explaining these as we go along. An angle of 90 degrees. So we'll get another line. I should have copied and pasted these lines. I'll show you how to do that in a second. If you don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you guys know all this stuff, and this is just a recap for you, but if you don't know this, if you want to send this to some random person who wants to know how to do this stuff, yeah, I should probably say it. Okay, to construct an angle of 90 degrees. So what you're going to do, I'll use the same radius, 50. You can use any radius, but I just like the number 50. Going to scribe your arc here. You're going to construct a 60-degree angle first. And then, at the point of intersection again, sort of like the 30, you're going to scribe another arc. Ooh, I did that bad. Okay, so this is a good time to point out something. If you drew something too short, like after you scribe this arc, to get a 90-degree angle, you scribe another arc from that intersection. And where this arc and this arc meet, that's 90 degrees. So if you accidentally drew your arc too short, you don't have to delete it and draw it over again. You just hover your cursor over this block there and it gives you two options. Don't click it, otherwise it'll start dragging it everywhere and it'll create a mess. But just hover it over and you can click lengthen. And yeah, so that is our 90 degrees. Why do I speak so much when I'm doing this by myself? I don't speak to people this much. Good excuse for water. So constructing a 45-degree angle. Right, I'll use this opportunity to show you guys how to copy and paste. So you have this copy button here. Pretty obvious what it does. It copies stuff. You press copy. You specify a base point. This is essentially the point where, like, if you move your cursor, that's like if you had a little hand and you grabbed it somewhere, that's what you'd move it around with. So let's say my base point was here. It means I'm moving it all around by that little point there. Right. So to construct a 45-degree angle, you first need to construct a 90-degree angle. So after you do that, you take an arc of the same, of course, radius. And at the intersection of the 90-degree angle, of the 90-degree line, the perpendicular line, I should probably say that, I'm a TD student, and this arc here, this one, you're going to scribe an arc again from here to here. Like, it doesn't need to be too big, as long as it meets that intersection. Okay, this line meets that intersection, and that's 45 degrees. Ta-da! Jazz hands. Moving right along. Okay, so to construct an angle of 75 degrees. So let's say, by the way, for the copy, if I wanted to say that this is my base point, that means I'd grab it sort of by here and move it around. And that's what that means if you are interested in it. Right. So to construct a 75-degree angle, I take this intersection and draw my arc of 50, and control to change the direction of the arc, and then I'd scribe another arc from here out, like with a radius of 50. But as you see, I already have an arc here, so I'm going to hover over, not click, and click lengthen, and pull it over here. So this intersection here, you don't need this, by the way. This is just the 45-degree one. You can delete that. I just copied it over. And that intersection here marks where this line would be 75 degrees to that line. So those are all our angles. Aren't they beautiful? Moving up, we are going to construct a triangle given 3 sides. I'm just going to look in, well, okay, let's say, but I'll use this as an opportunity to show you text if you didn't do that. I don't think we need it, but oh well. Into the text box, you just click on text, that little A. It might be a bit different for 2019, but yeah. And you open up a box, and this little thing comes up and you just start typing. So let's say we have 3 points, A, B, and C. And the distance of AB is 75. So the distance of BC is 30.